The Dependent Care Assistance Program is a flexible spending account available to eligible Hennepin County employees to be used to pay for dependent daycare expenses using pre-tax dollars. Keep in mind that if you wish to elect expenses for your eligible children for medical purposes, you do want to elect the healthcare expense account. Also remember that these are use or lose accounts, so you do want to be conservative with what you elect for the year, because if you do not have enough daycare expenses to submit against what you elected, you will not be able to get the funds back. Electing the Dependent Care Assistance Program saves you money, specifically tax money, and on average about 25 to 30% depending on your individual situation. In this example, two people both make $35,000 and each have $2,500 in daycare expenses for the year, but one person chooses to elect the Dependent Care Assistance Program for those expenses and the other person chooses to just simply pay out of pocket for them. As you can see, the person who elects the Dependent Care Assistance Program actually has more net take-home pay and saves approximately $654 for the year. Keep in mind that this is only an example, and your specific savings are based on your individual situation and income. Also note that there is a difference between the Dependent Care Tax Credit that you can claim on your taxes at the end of the year and the Dependent Care Assistance Program. And to help you compare the savings with each option, there is a worksheet available on the Dependent Care Worksheet available on the website at www.one-to-one-benefits.com/Hennepin. A couple of things to note about the Dependent Care Assistance Program. This program is available for eligible daycare expenses for your dependent children under the age of 13 or for a disabled dependent or spouse. Also note that if you are married, you and your spouse must both be working or looking for work or going to school in order to claim the account. Something to note also regarding spouses' situations. If you are divorced or separated, only the custodial parent, really the person with whom the child is living, can submit expenses and have this account. Otherwise, if custody is shared equally, typically the spouse with the higher adjusted gross income can have the account. So if you are divorced and court ordered to pay for dependent care expenses, you typically cannot have this plan unless you are the custodial parent. Make sure to check with your tax advisor for information about your specific situation. Eligible expenses under this plan include not only standard daycare, either in-home or a center, but also day camps and before and after school care. Note that kindergarten is not eligible. See also the online searchable expense list available at www.one-to-one-benefits.com/Hennepin for more specific information about both eligible and ineligible expenses. Also note that the deadline to submit claims is March 31st of each year. The maximum election that you may set aside in the Dependent Care Assistance Program is $5,000. More specifically, two working spouses may elect a combined maximum of $5,000. So if you are married, either one or the other of you may elect this account. So you do want to discuss with your spouse whether or not you are going to, first of all, elect the plan, and then if you are, which one of you is going to elect the account for the year. Otherwise, if you're married and filing separate tax returns, you each may elect $2,500. Once you make an election, that is divided equally among your paychecks for the year and taken out pre-tax. And then the reimbursement funds become available as they are deducted. So for example, if you have $1,000 in daycare for January and you've had $400 taken out of your paychecks for January, you would submit that claim, first of all, at the end of the month after the care has been provided, and you would be reimbursed $400. The additional $600 would then pend and be paid out to you as you have additional contributions made throughout the year. Also keep in mind that once you make an election, you are set with that election for the year and cannot make changes unless you have what's called a qualifying event. So these include things like a spouse losing eligibility for coverage, or having a baby, or getting divorced, or the most common election change with the Dependent Care Assistance Program is a change in cost or coverage for the care. For example, a daycare provider changing the cost, or switching daycare providers where you may need to pay more or less than what you were previously paying. Keep in mind that you typically have around 30 days to make those changes, and you may not make a change if the cost change is imposed by a relative. Another thing to note about the Dependent Care Assistance Program is what's called a grace period. So you have until March 31st to submit claims incurred from the previous year, but if you needed more time in which to actually incur the claims, because let's say you got to the end of the year and realized that something did happen with your situation throughout the year where you ended up with more daycare expenses than you had in claims, you would have until the following March 15th to actually incur those claims. Keep in mind that you must remain employed through the previous December 31st, though, in order to take advantage of this grace period. Also keep in mind that these accounts do not just roll year to year. You actually have to make a new election at the beginning of each year during your open enrollment period, which for 2018 is November 6th to November 20th, in order to have the account for 2018. Otherwise, if you're a mid-year hire, you need to be making that election during your enrollment period. The One-to-One Benefits mobile app is a great place for you to do a lot of different things with your Dependent Care Assistance Program. As this slide indicates, you can view all account activity with your plan and check balances, in addition to submitting claims on the go through the app. You can also view any claims where we might be asking for a receipt or for which you haven't yet submitted a receipt. And you can also take a photo of a receipt and submit it as a new claim or add it to an existing claim. Keep in mind that with the Dependent Care Assistance Program, we do require a tax ID. And what that means is either the true federal tax ID number if the care is provided at a daycare center, or the Social Security number of an in-home daycare provider. You may also sign up for text alerts and other reminders on the app as well. And if you notice the barcode on the right-hand side of this screen, you may hold your phone right up to that code, scan that, and the app will pop up rather than searching for it in the App Store. For additional information regarding the Dependent Care Assistance Program, you may reference the summary plan description available online at www.onetonebenefits.com/Hennepin under the Member Contract section. In addition, check balance information or find additional answers to questions either by downloading the mobile app. Again, hold your phone next to this barcode on the right-hand side to get the app, or contact One-to-One Benefits at 612-877-4321 or 800-300-1672 between the hours of 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday. You may also email us with questions, general questions, at customerservice@onetonebenefits.com.